The fight starts on a bright Sunday morning, when Margaret Hayes walks into her own kitchen and finds her children measuring the walls. Sunlight falls across the chipped farmhouse table, dust floating in the air like confetti that no one asked for.
Mom, we talked about this. The house is too big. You cannot keep living here alone.
The assisted living place has a garden and music nights. You will make friends there.
I have friends right here. There is Mrs. Carter next door. There is the mailbox. There is my rose bush.
Her voice shakes but her chin lifts, stubborn as the crack in the old kitchen tile.
You fell last month, and you did not even call us. The neighbor did. What if it happens again?
We are not trying to punish you. We are trying to keep you alive.
Alive is not the same as living.
Her words slice through the kitchen, clean and sharp.
You already took my car. Now you want my house. What is next? My name.
That is not fair, and you know it. The doctor took your license, not us.
Claire pushes a folder across the table. Paper whispers against wood. A quiet, cruel sound.
These are the forms. If we sell this place, we can pay for the best room. You will have a balcony.
The best room in a cage is still a cage.
Her heart beats fast. A frightened bird trapped behind her ribs.
I raised you in this house. I worked double shifts. I buried your father and still kept the lights on, and now you want to sweep me out with the old magazines.
That is not what this is. Please, stop twisting it.
We already put down the deposit. If we back out now, we lose the money.
So my life is cheaper than your deposit.
The room goes very quiet. The clock on the wall ticks like a tiny judge.
You are being dramatic.
Dramatic is what you get when you plan to evict your mother from her own life.
Her chest tightens, a hot band of pain wrapping around her ribs.
Mom, sit down. You are turning pale.
The floor seems to tilt. The edges of the kitchen blur. Voices stretch thin and far away.
I am not leaving this house. I would rather die right here at this table.
The pain spikes, white and blinding. Her hand flies to her chest, fingers clutching at her cardigan.
Mom, breathe. Daniel, call an ambulance now.
Stay with us, okay? Stay with us, please.
The ceiling swims above her. The chandelier becomes a whirl of light. The world narrows to the frantic thud of her own heart. For one wild second, she thinks of every birthday she spent baking cakes for other people. Every dream she folded away like summer clothes that no longer fit.
If there is any mercy left for me, give me one more chance. Just one day where I am not old and invisible.
The siren wails in the distance. Or maybe it is the kettle. Or maybe it is Claire. Everything melts into sound and brightness. Then there is darkness, deep and soft, and a strange cool silence that feels like the pause between heartbeats. When Margaret opens her eyes again, she is in her own bedroom, the curtains glowing with late afternoon light, the air smelling of lavender and dust.
So I made it after all.
Her voice sounds wrong, lighter, brighter, like someone turned the years down on a radio dial. She pushes herself up, and the ache in her spine is gone. Her hands do not tremble. Her breath does not wheeze in her chest.
What on earth?
She swings her legs over the edge of the bed and stares at her knees, smooth and firm. No sagging skin, no blue veins. Her feet touch the floor with easy grace. No creak of old bones, no careful bracing on the nightstand. There is a mirror across the room, framed in white wood. For years she has avoided it. Now something pulls her forward. A young woman stares back at her, wide hazel eyes, thick dark hair falling loose over bare shoulders, skin smooth as a summer peach.
That is not possible. That is me.
Her laugh bursts out, wild and disbelieving, half hysterical joy and half terror of the bill that might come later.
Well then, universe, you finally did something interesting.
In the hallway, a floorboard creaks. A deep, familiar voice calls her name, and the life of a 78-year-old woman collides with the body of someone who looks barely 20. The voice belongs to her neighbor, Mrs. Carter, who believes it is still morning, and that Margaret is still an old woman in need of soup and gossip.
Margaret, are you awake? Claire gave me a key. She said you scared them half to death.
Do not come in yet. I am not dressed.
She lunges for the closet, grabs the first dress her hands find. a faded blue sundress from a forgotten box like a relic from another life. It slides over her, like it was made yesterday, the zipper closing without a struggle, the waist loose instead of tight.
Come in now.
The door opens and Mrs. Carter steps in, gray curls pinned in a messy bun, reading glasses hanging from a chain around her neck.
Hello, dear. I brought you some chicken soup and some magazines with those silly quizzes.
She stops so fast, the soup sloshes in the container. Her eyes go wide, her jaw drops.
Oh my word! Who are you? And what did you do with my friend?
It is me. It is Margaret, before the gravity and the grandchildren.
Do not joke about that sort of thing. I am too old for this kind of shop.
Margaret crosses the room, takes her hand. The touch is the same, warm, steady, the same small scar on the knuckle from years ago.
I made a wish when I thought I was dying. I asked for one more chance. And now this happened. I do not know how long it will last.
Then you had better use it before somebody up there changes their mind.
They sit on the edge of the bed, two souls the same age trapped in bodies that do not match, cackling like teenagers with a stolen secret.
If my children see me like this, they will faint, or worse, they will try to manage me like a project.
So we keep it simple. You use a nickname. You say you are a distant cousin. You let them underestimate you while you enjoy yourself.
A cousin from where exactly?
From the side of the family they never listen about. Call yourself Maddie. You always liked that name.
The name sits on her tongue like something new and sweet. Maddie, not a grandmother, not a patient, just a girl with possibilities.
All right then, I will be Maddie for a while.
That afternoon she steps outside. The world looks the same, the cracked sidewalk, the maple tree, the mail truck rumbling by, yet everything feels sharp and bright. Her legs carry her without the old cautious shuffle, her steps light, almost careless. The wind plays with her hair instead of yanking at a hat. On the corner a moving van blocks half the street. A man stands beside it reading a clipboard. Tall, sun-warmed skin, dark hair tied back, a streak of paint on his forearm.
Hey, sorry about the mess. Are you from this block?
You could say that I live right there, or I used to, or I still do. It is complicated.
She points at her house, then drops her hand, heart skipping. She has already said too much.
Cool. I am Lucas. I just bought the fixer-upper at the end of the street. I am starting a small studio there.
What kind of studio?
Photography and design, weddings and small business stuff. Trying to make it look less like a haunted house first, though.
He grins, and the street gets about 3 shades brighter. The kind of smile that used to make her blush in high school hallways.
What is your name?
Maddie.
Nice to meet you, Maddie. Welcome to the block. Maybe you can tell me which coffee shop does not taste like burnt cardboard.
There is a place 2 streets over that still grinds beans by hand. The owner remembers every regular. You will like it.
Perfect. You should show me. Call it a welcome tour. I will pay for the coffee.
The invitation lands between them like a dare. Old Margaret would have said she was busy, that her knees hurt, that she needed to check the oven. Maddie, who is Margaret without the weight of years, simply smiles. The sound of her own laugh surprises her again.
Why not? I could use some coffee and a tiny adventure.
They walk side by side toward the corner. He pushes the crosswalk button with an elbow, balancing 2 boxes effortlessly. She feels taller beside him, not because of height, but because nobody is holding her arm like she might break. At the cafe he holds the door, orders something complicated with oat milk and caramel. She orders plain coffee and a lemon bar. A taste of the past with a present that feels unreal.
So, Maddie, what do you do when you are not rescuing new neighbors from terrible coffee?
Right now I am between things. I am trying to figure out what I want the rest of my life to look like.
Same. I left a safe job to chase this studio dream. So far I have debt and a very ugly wallpaper collection.
They laugh. 2 people at the beginning of something. One at the start of his adult years, one at the end of hers with a stolen loop back to the beginning. As the afternoon stretches on, she tells him tiny edited pieces of truth. That she loves gardens. That she used to bake for every school event. That she once wanted to travel but life had other plans. She leaves out the parts with diapers and overtime and late notices. She leaves out the ache of watching her hands wrinkle while her dreams dried up.
You have this way of talking like you already lived 3 lives. I mean that as a compliment.
Maybe I have.
When they part at the corner, his fingers brush her wrist, a light, casual touch that sends a spark up her arm. She has not felt that zip of interest in decades.
See you around, Maddie. Thanks for the tour.
Count on it.
That night she lies awake in her not quite familiar young body, staring at the ceiling, feeling like the world has opened a secret door just for her. Days fold into a strange new routine. Mornings in her garden trimming roses with steady hands, afternoons at the studio helping Lucas rip down wallpaper and dream up possibilities. He pays her in coffee and laughter, and the kind of attention nobody has given her since her husband was alive.
You have an eye for light. Whenever you suggest moving something, the whole room looks better.
I spent a lot of time chasing sunlight for houseplants and children. It teaches you things.
He starts handing her the camera, not just the paint scraper, showing her how to frame a shot, how to catch a tiny smile before it flickers away.
You talk to people and they relax. It is like you understand what they are scared to show.
That is what happens when you have spent a lifetime listening to other people's worries.
She does not say that most of those worries came from the very children, who now think she cannot cross a street alone. In the evenings, she walks past her own house, lights on, silhouettes moving behind the curtains, Claire and Daniel taking turns staying over, while she recovers from the scare they still believe was only a scare. Once she sees her granddaughter Lily on the porch, scrolling her phone, shoulders hunched, eyes tired in a way no teenager should look.
Do you need something?
I was just admiring the roses. Your grandmother loved those, you know.
Yeah, she did. She used to make me help her deadhead them every summer.
The word used hits like a tiny stone. Past tense. As if Margaret is already gone. As if the woman who baked birthday cakes and fixed Halloween costumes is only a memory.
She misses you.
Do you know her?
We go way back.
Lily snorts, a small half-laugh. The kind Margaret has heard since the girl was in pigtails. It tugs at something deep in her chest.
Tell her I am sorry. I have not visited more. Everything is just a lot right now.
I will tell her, and she would say that nothing you are is a disappointment. Not ever.
Lily blinks fast, wiping at one eye like there is dust, then nods, pocketing her phone. Going back inside the house that is both hers and no longer hers, Margaret walks away, feeling both full and hollow. A ghost haunting her own life while building a new one down the street. At the studio, the energy is different, bright, hungry, walls slowly turning from stained beige to crisp white, floors gleaming under fresh varnish.
Grand opening soon. I should be freaking out more right.
You will freak out the night before and then you will be fine. That is how these things work.
These things. Listen to you. How many studios have you opened?
Replace studio with school concert or job interview, and the math is about the same.
He looks at her then, really looks, eyes softening, something like admiration, and something warmer layering in.
I am really glad you walked by that day.
Me too.
He steps closer, close enough that she can see the flecks of paint on his jaw, the tiny scar near his eyebrow, close enough to feel his breath when he speaks.
I want to take some test shots before the opening. Would you model for me?
Me. I am not exactly model material.
You are exactly the kind of person I want in my portfolio. Real, interesting, impossible to ignore.
Her instinct is to deflect, to joke, to say that he should find someone shiny and simple instead. But the way he says impossible to ignore hits a place untouched for years.
All right, but if I trip over your cables, you are deleting those pictures.
He positions her near the big front window afternoon, light pouring over her, tells her to think about something that makes her feel alive. Not just happy, alive. She thinks of dancing barefoot in her kitchen at 20, mouthing lyrics into a wooden spoon, her husband laughing as he spun her around. She thinks of holding newborns and smelling rain on hot pavement. And she thinks of now, this impossible second chance wrapped in smooth skin and bright eyes, and the attention of a man who has no idea she once showed his age group how to tie their shoes.
There. Whatever you are thinking about, keep it. That is perfect.
The shutter clicks again and again, the sound like small heartbeats in the quiet room.
Come, look.
On the screen, she sees a young woman with a knowing smile, eyes that have seen too much yet still burn bright, a hint of mischief at the corner of her mouth.
You look like someone who has been broken and put herself back together, sharper.
You have a dramatic way of seeing people.
I have a clear way of seeing you.
Their eyes meet. Something shifts. It is not just flirtation now. It is connection, thick and electric, the kind that changes the air between two people.
Lucas.
I know I should not complicate my life while I am launching a business, but I cannot pretend I do not feel this. Do you?
Yes, I do.
The truth slips out before fear can clamp down, and once it is out there is no pulling it back.
Then let us not overthink it. Let us see where this goes.
He leans in, slow enough for her to pull away, slow enough to ask every silent question, fast enough that she does not talk herself out of happiness again. When his mouth touches hers, the years fall away. Not just from her skin, but from the corners of her heart. It feels reckless and sweet, and entirely undeserved, and yet she takes it anyway. For a while, life is split into two worlds. The studio where she is Maddie, 20 and in love, and the house down the street where she is Margaret, missing and mourned in whispers. Lucas takes her out for late-night burgers and early morning walks. They lie on the studio floor after long days, talking about dreams as if time is a wide open road.
When the studio takes off, I want to travel. Take pictures in small towns. Tell stories of regular people who never make the news.
I want you to do that too, and I want to see every picture.
She does not say that. By then this miracle might be gone. That she may be back in a body that cannot sleep on floors or sprint for trains. The first sign comes on a Wednesday, small and mean, when she wakes with a stiff ache in her fingers after a day of arranging props. By noon the ache is gone. She laughs it off. But that night she sees it in the bathroom mirror, one tiny silver strand glinting in her dark hair.
No, not yet, please.
Her reflection looks back, young but less impossibly so, like a phone filter dialed down one notch. She goes to Mrs. Carter the next day, hands shaking around a mug of tea. The older woman listening with eyes that hold decades of storms weathered.
It is fading. I can feel it. I do not know how long I have. What am I supposed to do?
You do what you always do, dear. You tell the truth, at least to the people who deserve it.
If I tell Lucas, he will look at me like a stranger, like I tricked him.
Or he will look at you like you are still you, and you will have wasted less time being scared.
The idea terrifies her more than any ache or silver hair, because it forces her to admit how much she wants him to choose her, wrinkles and all. That evening at the studio, Lucas is buzzing, scrolling through his phone, cheeks flushed with excitement.
Maddie, you will not believe this. A local magazine wants to do a feature on the studio. They love the test shots, especially the portraits of you.
They want my face in a magazine.
Your face, your story. They think you are this fearless new artist who appeared out of nowhere. They want to run it before the grand opening.
The room spins just a little, not from pain this time, but from the sharp clash of desires, to hide and to shine at the same time.
Lucas, there is something I should tell you before you send them anything.
If you are about to say you are secretly famous already, we can use that.
I am not famous. I am just not exactly who you think I am.
She tells him then, in a rush and a stutter, about hearts that give out in kitchens, about wishes whispered in the space between beats, about waking up in a body that felt like a stolen dress. She tells him about Claire, Daniel, and Lily, and the house full of memories she still loves, about being 78 and tired of being handled like fragile glass.
You are saying that inside you are almost 80 and that this is temporary.
Yes, I do not know when it will end, but it is ending. I can feel it. And I did not want you to find out because of some article or because you saw me change.
Why did you not tell me sooner?
Because I did not think I would matter to you long enough for it to matter. I thought this would be a few sweet days, and then it would be over.
You mattered the first time you corrected my coffee choice. You matter every time you walk through that door. Do you really think so little of me?
The hurt in his voice lands like a punch, sharper than any ache in her aging bones.
I thought little of myself, not you.
I need a minute to think. This is a lot.
He walks to the far end of the room, hands on his hips, staring at the blank wall where they had planned to hang her portraits. For the first time since she woke in this borrowed youth, she feels truly cold, like the universe is already turning the lights off on her little miracle.
I am angry that you thought you had to lie, but I am not angry about who you are. I fell for the way you see the world. The way you push me to be braver, the way you talk to my fears like they are misbehaving children, that does not disappear with a number.
You say that now, but when this is gone, you will have a woman old enough to be your grandmother.
When this is gone, I will still have you. If you let me, I do not care what the math says. I care that you are the one who makes this place feel like more than a business.
Tears sting her eyes. Not from sadness alone, but from the wild relief of being seen. Really seen. In all her impossible complexity.
I do not want to be your burden.
You are not a burden. You are the best surprise my life has ever thrown at me. If you turn back tomorrow, I will grieve this version of you. But I will not walk away from you.
His promise terrifies her almost as much as losing him would, because it means she has to let herself hope, and hope is always the riskiest thing. They cancel the magazine shoot, claiming scheduling issues. They keep the portraits for themselves. Private proof that this chapter really happened. As days pass, the changes speed up. More silver at her temples each morning. Faint lines returning around her eyes, like old roads revealing themselves under melting snow. Lucas begins to hold her a little tighter, laugh a little louder, as if trying to anchor them both to joy, while the tide pulls out. The morning, it finally happens. The sky over the neighborhood is soft and gray. The kind of light that makes everything look like an old photograph. Margaret wakes with the heavy certainty that the clock has struck. Not midnight, but whatever hour ends miracles. Her joints ache when she sits up. Her breath comes with a small wheeze. Her hands are once again the familiar map of veins and spots. She knows better than any street. In the mirror, she sees Margaret Hayes, 78, eyes lined but clear. Mouth curved in a sad little smile that holds both grief and gratitude.
So this is goodbye to her, then, to Maddie.
She presses fingertips to the glass in a brief farewell to the girl who lived here for a while. A girl who was always her and never her at the same time. Then she puts on her softest sweater, the one Lily bought her last winter, and walks down the street. The studio door is unlocked as usual. A bell chimes when she pushes it open, and the smell of coffee and fresh paint wraps around her like an embrace.
We are not open yet. Give me 10 minutes, and I can pretend to be a serious businessman.
He steps out from the back, wiping his hands on a rag, still speaking, then stops short when he sees her.
Oh.
The single word holds an ocean, surprise and ache, and something like relief that the waiting is over.
Hi, Lucas. I hope you still let old women in here. Your sign does not say youth only.
You could be 1,000, and I would still let you in.
He crosses the room in 3 quick steps, stops just in front of her, hands hovering like he is not sure where he is allowed to touch.
How do you feel?
Like I danced too long at a wedding, but my heart is still beating, and that seems like a win.
You are still you. That is what matters. I can work with sore knees.
He reaches for her hand finally, curling his fingers around it, warm and steady, his thumb brushing over familiar ridges of skin, as if memorizing this version too.
I understand. If this is where things change between us.
Things have already changed. We went through magic together. You do not go back to casual after that. I still want you in my life, in my studio, in my future, whatever shape that takes.
Her throat tightens, tears prick. But they are softer this time. Not jagged grief, but something gentler. Like rain on soil that has already cracked and healed once before.
I cannot give you late-night rooftop parties or spontaneous road trips, not without a lot of pills and planning.
You can give me stories. You can give me someone who understands what really matters. You can give me a reason to slow down and notice the light on the floor. Also, I happen to like quiet nights with lemon bars and old movies.
She laughs, a sound that feels like both Maddie and Margaret blended, not youthful or old, just her. Later that week, she knocks on the door of her own house, heart pounding in a way no miracle can fix.
Can I help you?
You can let your mother in before the neighbors start thinking you are rude.
Claire freezes, eyes filling with tears in one rapid rush. Then she pulls her into a hug so tight Margaret has to pat her back to breathe.
We thought we lost you. You were gone when we came back from the hospital. There was just your robe on the bed. I have been imagining the worst.
I am sorry I scared you. I had some things to figure out.
Mum, if this is about the assisted living place, we can cancel it. We were wrong. We should have listened more.
This is about all of us learning that I am still here, still capable of making choices, even if I need help sometimes.
They sit around the kitchen table, the same table where the fight began, this time with tissues and tea instead of folders and forms.
I want to stay in my house as long as I can safely. I will accept more help, more check-ins, maybe a part-time nurse, but I am not being moved like furniture.
We can do that. I just want you safe, and I want to stop fighting with you.
Same. I do not want you to feel like you are a problem we are trying to solve.
I just want more time with you. Okay.
Margaret looks at their faces, so dear, so worried, and feels something settle in her chest. Not the restless ache that pushed her into that desperate wish, but a quieter acceptance.
Then, let us make that time count.
The weeks that follow are messy and beautiful. Physical therapy appointments and family dinners afternoons, at the studio where she sits on a high stool while Lucas works, trading stories over coffee. She cannot climb ladders now, but she can choose color palettes. She can talk nervous clients into relaxing. She can point out the angle of light that makes an ordinary scene look like a memory worth framing.
The studio would collapse without you. You know that, right?
Flattery will get you an extra batch of lemon bars.
Sometimes they sit in quiet, his head resting lightly against her shoulder. The age gap no longer a flashing neon sign but just one more odd detail in a life that refuses to follow polite rules. On the wall of the studio they hang one framed photograph that no client ever sees. A portrait of Maddie in that window light. Eyes blazing with stolen time. Beside it, they hang a newer photograph of Margaret as she is now, lines and all, laughter crinkling at her eyes as she holds a camera like it belongs there.
Both of them are you. Both of them are beautiful. I am lucky. I got to meet every version.
She knows her body will only grow slower, her steps shorter, her time narrower. There is no magic left to erase that truth. But her days are full now, of love that is not embarrassed to be seen in daylight, of family that has learned to listen, of work that uses all the years she lived instead of pretending they did not happen. Margaret Hayes does not get to stay 20, but she gets something better than a temporary rewind. She gets to be fully herself at last, loved in every age she has ever been.
Thanks for watching. Follow for more romance stories.